The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Eagle Fire Department, on your new fire apparatus, job number 32008. Please utilize this job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting down at the front bumper, located in the center, you'll find your mechanical siren. Moving just outward of that location, you'll find dual air horns on the right and left side of that mechanical siren. And then moving to the outer edges, you'll find your electronic siren, PA speaker. And then on the side of the bumper, you'll find an emergency warning light. Let's move up onto the top of the bumper, located just slightly off center in the frame rail. You'll find two closed tow hooks. And then you'll also find on each side hose storage locations with Velcro holders. Moving to the outside on the driver's side, you'll find a 2.5-inch discharge. It is a swivel. And then on the far right hand side in the image, on the passenger side, you'll find a large diameter intake. Moving up onto the front body of the apparatus, you'll find your headlight cluster. There'll be a low and high beam. High beam is on the inside, low beam is on the outside. Moving on the outer edge of that cluster, you'll find your turn indicator and marking light. And then just up from that headlight cluster, you'll find an additional cluster. These are going to be housing your emergency warning lights. Located on the right and left side of the vehicle, find two grab handles for access aloft. And then located across the center of your windshield, you'll find three windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. On the brow of the apparatus, you'll find 5 running lights. Located in the center, you'll find a forward-facing floodlight. And then as we move all the way up onto the roof area, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Let's take a look at the side of the apparatus. This is that large diameter intake. It is a swivel. Just beneath that, you'll find that emergency warning light, and then you'll also find a tubbed storage location for hose. On the side of the vehicle, you'll find your mirror, which has a convex portion in the lower area. Here are some close-ups of those images that we just spoke about. This is your tow hook. You can see that it has a 6,000-pound straight pull. Here's the 2.5-inch swivel for your front discharge on the driver's side. Close up here of your headlight structure and also emergency warning lights. Overhead, the windshield area brow, you'll find once again running lights and that forward-facing flood. Located directly behind, just above on the notch, you'll find your Opticom. Down in the step well, you'll find your air inlet and also a step light. As we move to the side of the apparatus, you'll find Shoreline inlet. This is a 20 amp Kusmal auto eject plug. Also located in the compartment just to the rear, you'll find long tool storage. Let's move up from this location to the very top. You'll find a really cool American flag eagle with the twin towers in the background and the number 343. And above that, you'll find a side-facing floodlight. Let's move now to the side of the pump panel. You have a mid-constructed pump here. This is going to be a warning label regarding hose coming off the side of the apparatus could become an entanglement hazard, and so to be cautious of that. There are also some warning labels here regarding not riding on the side of the apparatus, and then also a warning label regarding pressurized caps and the associated hazards while we're removing them under pressure. Let's break down. You have some discharges on this side, 2.5-inch discharge, and then located in the center, you'll find your large diameter intake. Moving to the right, you'll find instructions here regarding your manual pump shift. Those are the instructions, and then just beneath that, to the left, you'll find a 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet, and then you'll find a placard regarding your Watrous pump and the information regarding the type of pump that you have. Located underneath that, the black labels are going to be additional drains in addition with discharge drains, which are color-coded. To the right side, this is going to be your main pump drain. And then located just beneath that, this is your manual pump shift. Looking to the cross lay area, once again you'll find cross lays 1 and 2, and then you also have a dead load. Here are the close-ups of driver's side 1 and 3. Odd is going to be numbered on the passenger side. Here is the driver's side auxiliary inlet, once again a 2.5 inch. Additional images here at the top, pump drain, and then just beneath that your manual pump shift. This is the placard I referred to earlier regarding your Watrous pump. And as we move to the cross lay area for people to transverse between the passenger and driver side, your access point up to your pump controls. Let's start at the pump controls on the left-hand side. This is the passenger side of the vehicle. You'll find the passenger side main inlet. It's an electronic valve just above that. To the right, again, a warning label here regarding a fall hazard and never to ride on the side of the vehicle. And this is a warning label that only trained personnel should operate this equipment, and they should read the owner's manual prior to operation. There is a valve for the front inlet. There is an open and close switch for it, and then just beneath that you'll find the primer for that, and there's also some priming instructions beneath. The two large gauges here, pump intake, and then moving to the right, your pump discharge. In between the two are the two test ports for vacuum and pressure. Moving to the right, you'll find an engine cooler. This is a twist, not a pull. And then just beneath that, you'll find the primer for your fire pump. Once again, special instructions just beneath that. Far right-hand side in the blue is a module for tank vision. This is going to be your water tank. It's an LED indicator for the amount of water in your tank. As we move further to the right, you'll find a set of switches, first being the pump engaged. If illuminated in green, your pump is properly engaged. Above that, you'll find your panel lights, and then driver side flood and passenger side flood. The top and bottom, there are some blanks here for future switch locations if needed. To the right, you'll find your driver's side main inlet. This is once again an electronic TFT valve with clear instructions just above that. Moving down to the valve control area, we're going to start on the left side with the passenger side auxiliary inlet. Moving to the right, you'll find your large diameter passenger side discharge. This is in green. And then as we move further to the right, you'll find all of your valves. They are also color-coded and also labeled. As we move through all of the valves, let's go all the way to the right-hand side, and we'll move next to the Pump Boss, which is the module for your pump operation, throttle control, pump pressure. First, starting in the upper left-hand corner, if illuminated, it would be an amber light. It is the check engine. Moving to the right, you have a digital readout for your RPMs. And then moving further to the right, if illuminated, you'll have a red stop engine. Down from that location, you do have a blue menu button to scroll through the various menus. And then located in the center, you have indicators for your oil pressure, water temperature, battery. And then to the far right, you'll have a silence button. This is for your audible silence. So you'll push this if you have an alarm and you choose to silence it. Down on the left side, you'll find the selection for pressure or RPM mode, and located in the center, a digital readout. To the right, you'll find a green indicator if lit for your throttle is ready. And then you have just beneath that a preset button in green if you choose to set presets. Located in the center of the control module here, you'll find a push to go to the idle position, or you can turn right or left to increase or decrease the RPMs. Let's move just to the right of this location. There are a few more things I'd like to discuss. First, beneath the Pump Boss, this is that silence. This is an audible alarm. There does have the ability to silence it on the actual module. Moving to the right, you'll find your tank to pump, and then tank fill recirculating line, and then your number 1 cross lay. Down at the very bottom, we'll go over this in detail. This is your maintenance schedule for your pump testing. This is the 150, 200, and 250 test pressures. There is on the left side, the GPM associated with the RPMs on the right-hand side. This is the information when conducting your pump test that you should be able to maintain. Let's move to the right. All the way to the very far right, you'll find the driver's side auxiliary inlet.
And now we're to the center of the apparatus. You'll find you have an extendable master stream device, and then you also have some adjustments here for rotation and also a wheel for increasing or decreasing the angle. There are some warning indications here. I would like you to seek that information prior to operation. On your ladder rack, you have a 24-foot extension, a 14-foot roof, and then to the right-hand side, you'll find your 10-foot attic, and then you also have long tool storage, pike poles, rubbish hooks, whatever your department organization calls for. Located in the dunnage area, you will find your water fill. This is the top fill location. This is the lid that lifts so you can fill your tank. Down in the side of the apparatus, we're now on the driver's side. When we look in the first compartment, you will find a mechanism on the latch here to allow that shelf to be pulled outright. There is LED lighting inside those shelves and also adjustable shelving. SCBA bottle storage with secure straps. To the right, you'll find a silver cap that is exposed first when you open this door. That's the fill location for your diesel. When you flip the annunciator location down, you'll find your diesel exhaust, which is a blue cap. That's for your DEF, 4.5 US gallons. Moving up to the next set of compartments, the very rear compartment, you will find shore power outlet here. As we move, this is going to be a 20 amp plug. This is when you are plugged into shore power, this will activate. Let's take a look at the rear of the apparatus, and we'll go through some of the components here. Let's first start in the lower left-hand corner. This is your brake modules. Up from that, you'll find an emergency warning light, turn indicator, and also reverse lights in this module. Up from that, you're going to find scene lights and also work lights to the rear. And as we move up, you'll find two sets of lights here. First being your floods to the rear, and then at the very top, your emergency warning lights. There are some compartments that we'll talk about. We'll cover those once we get those compartment doors open, but let's go through some of the other items within the rear of the apparatus. First and foremost, the important warning labels here, not riding on the apparatus. Up from that, you'll find a warning label here regarding pressurized caps and the associated hazards while removing a cap under pressure. Located in the center, you'll find your backup or reverse camera. Up from that, you'll find your traffic advisor. And then as we move all the way to the far right and left, you'll find discharges. We'll take a couple of close-ups here. Let's start first on the left-hand side of the apparatus. These were the two switches. One is your rear scene lights and the other is your hose bed lights. As we look to the center, you'll find your backup camera and also your LED traffic advisor. You'll find a rear discharge. This is a 2.5 inch. This is going to be on the driver's side. As we move to the other side, we'll talk about that one in a few moments, but this is where your long storage for your suction hoses. Located in the center, you'll find a roll-up compartment door, LED lighting, and the possibility for adjustable shelving. You have a 20,000 straight pull on your rear hitch location. And as we look to the right, we'll talk a little bit about some of the compartments and some of the options that you've chosen here. First, on this compartment, this is the passenger side rear, you do have adjustable shelving and also, once again, a shoreline outlet 20 amp plug. When plugged into shore power, this will activate. There are 3 bottle storage locations also in this pan door with additional straps for bottle security. Just forward of that location in front of the rear wheel, you'll find also additional 3 bottle storage locations. There are 2 SCBA storage locations here. Just underneath this compartment is where you'll find your exhaust. It's extremely hot temperatures. Be cautious as to where you park. Also, this is the magnetic system for your capture diesel exhaust system. Moving to the midsection of your apparatus, you'll find some warning labels here regarding riding on the side of the apparatus. And then we'll find 2 pan-style doors. We'll talk about the access points behind the panel for these. You also have your powered equipment rack. There is an on and off switch, a lift position for up and down, and then also your 2.5 inch passenger side discharges. There's also a warning label here regarding pressurized caps and the associated hazards. And as we move down, we'll talk a little bit about this pan door in the next set of images. Directly in the center, this is your large diameter pump intake. And then moving to the right, this is your large diameter discharge. This will be green in color. Moving down to the bottom section, you'll find your discharge valves. And also to the right, you'll find a 2.5 inch auxiliary inlet. Let's take a look inside some of those compartments. First, this is your hydraulic equipment rack reservoir on the left-hand side, and then ample access for behind the panel. Additional image here. This module is going to be your powered equipment rack. You can see instructions on the left and right-hand side just beneath the switches. 2.5 inch number 4 and number 2 discharges, color-coded in green and orange. Access panel here for your large diameter intake. This is the relief valve and the relief valve set screw. Just a couple of general images here that we can see. First on the left-hand side, these are going to be your associated drains, color-coded and also labeled. As we move to the right, this is the passenger side auxiliary inlet. Once again, 2.5 inch female. Just beneath that, you'll find your front inlet. This is the discharge or bleeder valve for that. In the pass-through area or walk space, you'll find 2 additional fold-down steps. On the side of the apparatus, passenger side, you'll find that full-length access door in addition with long tool storage. And as we move to the front cab, passenger area, you'll find your cab lift remote control area. Located inside the cab, you'll find an access point for checking your oil and transmission. Looking from the rear, these are 2 of your forward-facing seats. And as we look underneath those, you'll find additional storage with a drop-down storage location. Let's look overhead in the rear of the compartment. You'll find your AC. You'll also find push-on and push-off red and white work lights, and also your headset system. Located behind the driver's seat, you'll find your battery charging system when plugged into shore power. And then over the 2 rear seats, rear facing, you'll find additional storage locations. Let's now move to the front passenger seat. This is the officer location. Once again, point of entry, you have warning labels here. You'll also find your vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system. This is your airbag. There's also a warning label not to block the area of the airbag. Located on the floor level, you'll find your mechanical siren foot pedal. Under the seat of the officer, you'll find additional storage. And then as we move to the right-hand side at about knee height, you'll find the fill location for your windshield wiper. Moving up onto the dash, you'll find a siren brake and also the push-to-talk for your headset system, and then also 12-volt access via USB. Located overhead, you'll find additional control modules. First on the left, your radio system, AM/FM, and also weather band. Located in the center, you'll find your Opticom module, and to the right, you'll find a future location. Located in the center of the dash area, you'll find your siren control and also PA system. Located overhead, you'll find once again push on and push off red and white lights, speakers, and also your lanyards for your air horns. Let's go ahead and now move to the driver's area. First, let's start down at the very bottom with some caution and warning labels, and then we'll move just slightly inside of that location. We'll find a yellow placard. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then you also have additional placards on seat belts and also additional warning labels on the door. As we move to the door itself, you'll find all of your warning labels are located here. You have your electronic window controls and also door latch. In between the center of that door latch is your locking mechanism. Down about the right ankle location, you'll find this manufactured by Pierce for Eagle Fire Department. This has the date of manufacture, job number, the vehicle chassis type, in addition with gross vehicle weight ratings, VIN number, and also all of your fluid capacities for your components and also the types. Located just under the driver's seat, you'll find your battery voltage. This is a Kusma Electric. When plugged into shore power, this will activate. Moving up at about left knee, you'll find a set of control modules here. Let's go over those next. First, the silver master battery switch. To the right, you'll find your tech module. Further to the right, you'll find your engine and transmission ABS diagnostic port, and then also a display port. Down at the bottom, the rocker switches are ABS diagnostic, DPN regen, also engine diagnostic, and your regen switch. Moving up from that location on the right, about right knee area, you'll find your pump engaged for going from pump to road and then from road to pump. There are 2 green indicators. One, your pump engaged, and second, you're okay to pump. As we move further to the right and slightly up a bit, you'll find your main mirror and convex mirror controls. And as we move all the way to the left-hand side of the steering column, you'll find your ignition and start switch. You'll also find this small EM switch, which stands for Emergency Master, that will turn on all of your emergency master lights. Up from that location, you'll find your headlights and dimmer switches. And as we work through the gauges here on your panel, you'll find first on the left your transmission and engine oil pressure. To the left, you'll find the level of your DEF tank, and at the very top, your water temperature. The two center gauges are tachometer and speedometer, and to the right you'll find your voltage, fuel, and also front and rear air. In between the upper and lower section, you'll find additional diagnostic information that displays digitally and also through light. Located in the center, you'll find your Pierce module. There's a tremendous amount of information that can be gleaned from this. This has all of your engine information in addition with seatbelt information. Let's move just to the right of that location. You'll find your climate control, and down from that you'll find your siren control and PA speaker control. This is located on the dash. There are a few caution indicators under the climate control for regarding tire chains and operating on wet surfaces. You also will find just to the right of your monitor system the windshield wiper push to apply fluid. There's a set of switches regarding your engine brake on and off. You also have low, medium, and high. There's also a protected switch here, which has the orange indicator for your tire chains, 2 future switch locations, and then you also have your mirror heat. As we look overhead, I would like to point out on the left-hand side, this is a manufactured by Pierce placard. This is giving you the height, length, and gross vehicle weight rating. Also, you'll find some rocker switches to the right. Let's go over this placard here first. For your height at 10 feet 10 inches, your length at 32 feet 6.62 inches, and your gross vehicle weight rating at 46,500 pounds. If you make any changes to your vehicle, please update that placard. On the left-hand side, you'll find A-pillar. The A-pillar houses the VIN number, and then also overhead, you'll find your rocker switches, which are front flood, driver's side cab scene, passenger side cab scene, driver's side flood, and passenger side flood, and also your rear scene. Anytime you activate any of these switches in the on position, the green light will illuminate. Let's move further to the right. You'll find your traffic advisor. It's a left-right split or flash, and you also have the power for low or high. Let's move to the right. You do have pull strings also for your air horns, but I would like to point out where the arrow is kind of pointing. This is a red LED indicator. If lit, you have a compartment door open that you should not move your apparatus. Once again, located in the back access panel for your quick daily checks for transmission and oil. And congratulations, Eagle Fire Department, on your new apparatus, job number 32008. If you have any questions regarding the content of this video or any future questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Congratulations.